Hi everyone. Well, we've got a couple of different things happening in the Atlantic at the moment, so we thought we'd give a bit of a hurricane update. And first of all, of course, we've got Hurricane Florence out here approaching the east coast of the US, and what is still Hurricane Helene down here to the south. Now, Helene will soon weaken to become a tropical storm, but it's still going to be pretty potent, with winds 60, 70 miles per hour. So still very strong little storm system. And it looks like Helene may get caught up in the jet stream and gradually move its way towards us later on, just after the weekend, really. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But first of all, of course, we're going to focus on Florence. So here you can see the wind strength of Florence, which is still a Category 4 hurricane. It may reach a Category 5. At the moment, it looks a little less likely, but it does look like, of course, hitting somewhere along the North or South Carolina coastline. It's difficult to say for sure at the moment because the track is, well, the thing with hurricanes, they're very, very difficult to track. So it may come a little bit further south, may come a little bit north. But you can see as we head towards Thursday, the winds start to impact the coast. Now, like I said, this could be a little bit further north, a little bit further south, and this is based on the GFS computer model. And you can see the winds here maxed out, much like last time we showed you, because our scale is we only created this scale to be for the UK. So, of course, with a hurricane, it's going to max the scale out. But so this is sustained wind speed, so it's well over 100 miles per hour. We're looking at 120, 130 miles per hour still, possibly a little stronger. And the strongest winds really start to hit the coast late Thursday evening, early Friday morning. And as we move through a little bit further, you can see the hurricane hovers around just for a day or two, but gradually weakens as it does so because the warm supply of the supply of warm air, which has been coming off the sea, gets cut off a little bit. But of course, with all hurricanes, there's going to be a lot of rainfall, and you can see that here, of course. So there's going to be not only storm surge due to the giant waves and the super high tides due to the hurricane. Obviously, there's going to be wind damage, and there's also going to be a lot of reports of flooding and damage from that. And the rainfall continues westwards for a few days. Although by then the hurricane's dissipated almost completely. It's just a fairly weak storm by then as we move into the start of next week, but it's still got a lot of rain and a lot of thunderstorms around it. So if you know anybody in that area, or of course if you're heading towards that way, it's worth keeping a check on the news and to see what's going to be happening. And of course we'll give a few updates on here when we can. So now let's have a quick look at what's going to be happening with Hurricane Helene, which is soon going to be turning into a tropical storm. So it's going to be weakening slightly. But anyway, so this is at the moment. This is Wednesday. We move through to Thursday. Can't really see much happening, but then you can see Helene arriving down here to the southwest, and it does look like it may now get caught up in the jet stream. This is always a possibility, but for some time it wasn't actually showing to be happening, but there is a chance now that it may happen. So it looks like crossing close to the Azores as a tropical storm still. Winds in excess of 60, possibly 70 miles per hour still at this point. And this is over the weekend. And we head through Sunday and then into Monday. You can see Helene getting caught up in the flow and mixed in with this big low pressure system out here in the Atlantic. And at this point, this is Tuesday, you can see it's still got quite a bit of strength to it. You can see its wind strength down here. So winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, sustained that is. So we're looking at gusts around 80 miles per hour still. So then as we head through Tuesday and into Wednesday, or should I say Tuesday evening, the remains of Helene gets caught up in this low pressure and moves up close to the UK. Now, a couple of the computer models are keeping it slightly further to the west. Although this is the GFS computer model, and it's keeping it or putting it a little bit more over us. So if that happens, it's going to introduce some very, very warm air for 24, 48 hours. But yes, it's going to be very windy indeed, especially down here along the south coast and possibly on the Isle of Wight, depending on the position of which Helene moves through. We're not saying this is definitely going to happen at the moment, but it does look likely that it will get caught up in the jet stream and potentially move northeastwards close to the UK or possibly over the UK. But of course, we'll give you more updates on that as it happens, because that could be quite the first major storm system of the year, really, for us here in the UK. So there could be a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and we could be seeing a few trees down and things like that. But that is if it, happens how this is showing at the moment. But a lot could happen between now and then, and we'll give you more updates over the next day or two. Anyway, that's all for now. Goodbye.